At Paddle, there's been an aspiration for a long time to create genuinely compelling content. We recorded the documentary about the whole process to educate and help founders who are going through that same process in the future.
Sky News got in touch that they wanted to kind of tell the fundraise story.
There's a really interesting dynamic as you approach an acquisition announcement like this. As part of an acquisition comms plan, you've got to think about the various different audiences and when they're going to know about the acquisition and what they need to know. And then you've got the wider market, where you want to be briefing the press under embargo and then a wider release. So there's multiple stages to juggle with multiple assets that need to be built for every one of those stages. We made a decision quite early on to try and split the announcements of the fundraising and the acquisition itself. And this was to gain the maximum amount of press coverage and other buzz. But it was also risky because it really increased the chance of a leak where people would find out outside of the business before we were ready to announce.
When we announced the fundraise or Series D fundraise before the acquisition, so there was a bit of a gap, like 2-3 weeks between. Sky News got in touch that they wanted to kind of tell the fundraise story on live TV. Christian sat in the meeting room in the office with transparent walls. You know, the idea was that they would get a glimpse of the office and people in the office, and the interview was ongoing, and halfway through, Patrick starts walking through the background, going to the left. And I remember getting so many Slack messages being like, can you get Patrick out of the shot? But it was live TV, it was live national TV. So I couldn't actually go in and grab Patrick. We were thinking like, that's it, that's the leak. I think the funniest thing was that he was wearing like Paddle branded sweater and hat. So we were pretty nervous for a day afterwards. But yeah, it was good in the end. Like the leak was contained, nobody really noticed. I think it was just us internally that really noticed it.
We had a crisis plan in case it leaked, and we actually had a very influential tech reporter ask us a load of questions through our PR agency and to some of our investors. So we knew there were people who had an understanding that something was going to happen. I think it went as well as we could have hoped. One of our stated aspirations internally is that we want to be their most helpful brand in SaaS. And clearly that's a never-ending journey. But through this process, we really tried to be that. We made sure we cut some great content that explained what we were doing. We recorded the documentary about the whole process to educate and help founders who are going through that same process in the future.
I think our mission and vision as a company to be the most helpful brand in SaaS is one that I hold truly to my personal self as well. It's really important that you're really aligned with the mission and the vision of the brand, of the company that you work in. So I'm really thankful that we've chosen that to be our mission.
For our whole team, I'm encouraging us to really take pride in our work and to make sure that we're only doing things that we're genuinely proud of. It's not enough just to hit a number. And I think this process has stress tested that. There's been a huge amount of work, and now we've got a mountain to climb ahead of us as we put these teams together and build new processes as a combined company. But I love getting up in the morning and working with this combined team to go and achieve that.